Helga, Elke, dear Busso members and guests. There's been a slowly developing yet decisive shift in the political situation in the United States, which has opened the potential for the removal of President Barack Obama and a dramatic change in U.S. economic policy. This shift is long overdue, but given the visibly accelerating collapse of the U.S. economy under Obama's Wall Street, City of London-directed regime and his continuation of the despised Bush-Cheney war policy, it has been triggered by the collapse of his one self-proclaimed accomplishment, the catastrophic rollout of Obamacare, the misnamed Affordable Care Act. There is a significant misunderstanding from the beginning of what Obamacare represented. For many in Europe, there was a sense that at long last, America was joining the rest of the world in implementing a government-run and government-funded health care program. Many in the U.S., especially those who were poor and sick and desperate and could not afford health care, had the same misunderstanding. And this misunderstanding was aided by the lies of Barack Obama and his supporters when they were pushing the legislation, and by the idiotic opposition of Republicans who attack Obamacare as the government takeover of health care, as socialism. But from the beginning, there's only one legitimate basis for attacking the program, and that was the correct insistence of the LaRouche movement that Obamacare was not a government health care policy, but a policy designed to reduce the population. Modeled on the genocidal useless eaters policy of Hitler's 1939 T4 involuntary euthanasia program, and under the guise of cost-cutting and increasing the efficiency of medical care, those who crafted the program intended that millions of Americans would be forced into expensive, basically worthless insurance policies sold by private insurers while shutting down hospitals and reducing options for real health care. And I know you in Germany know that by identifying it as a Hitler policy, it caused a lot of reaction, which was exactly intended, because there should be reaction to that. Now, it soon became obvious that the president had lied when he said, if you like your insurance policy, you can keep it. And when he added, if you like your doctor, you can keep him or her. Millions of existing insurance policies have been canceled. Up to as many as 93 million will be canceled. And tens of thousands of doctors have been fired by insurance companies. As a result, Obama's popularity rating, which was already dropping due to the overall uncertainty caused by the deepening economic collapse, has plunged to levels similar to those of his predecessor, George W. Bush. Faced with this debacle, for the first time, many Democrats in the Congress have moved into an open rebellion against the president. But it is not just Obamacare. The other key feature of Obamacare, besides its intent to reduce the population of low-income, sick, and elderly people, is that it is a bailout of insurance companies, which have been a central part of the bloated and debt-ridden financial system that crashed in 2008. In order to get the support of the big insurance companies, Obama guaranteed them they would get 30 million new customers who would be forced by law to buy private insurance policies, if necessary, with government subsidies. This would give hundreds of billions of dollars to insurance companies in return for policies which would provide minimal care at best, at high, virtually unaffordable out-of-pocket cost to those who are already too poor to afford to buy a policy without government subsidy. This has highlighted a characteristic of Obama's administration. Trillions of dollars in handouts for Wall Street, City of London speculative financial institutions, and protection from prosecution for the frauds they have committed to save them while providing nothing to the growing numbers of unemployed, underemployed, homeless, and sick in the United States. The building anger in the population at this reality, the protection of speculative swindlers such as J.P. Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank, at the expense of 99% of the population, which has lost any economic security, is what is driving the rebellion we see now among Democratic Party congressmen. It has also fed an upsurge of support for the economic solutions drafted by Lyndon LaRouche, beginning with the urgency of the passage of the Glass-Steagall bill, which has nearly 80 co-sponsors in the House and 11 in the U.S. Senate. When combined with a return to American system credit policy and the launching of great projects such as the thermonuclear North American Water and Power Alliance and the construction of a tunnel under the Bering Strait, this real wealth production of a science-driven policy of physical economy could be relaunched, one with potentials which would far exceed anything that we've seen yet on this planet. It is the infusion of this optimism which is essential if the paradigm of the last 50 years of greeny, post-industrial, deregulated free trade policies is to be reversed and replaced by a new paradigm. In the last weeks, as we approach the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy, we have effectively demonstrated that his assassination was not a personal or a family tragedy, but that of a nation, and in fact, of the whole world, which went from the optimism engendered by scientific and technological progress to the cynical pessimism which tolerated the election of George W. Bush and Barack Obama, both of whom were easily provable from the beginning to be puppets of the London-based financial interests threatening mankind. We've not won this fight yet, but we are now positioned to win. This last week, with the launching of a U.S. Senate campaign in Texas of Keisha Rogers, who's twice won Democratic congressional primaries, will enable her to take the lead in the fight to remove President Obama and to introduce Glass-Steagall plus economic remedies. And this will mean that our leadership of our organization, including our younger members, is entering a new phase in which we are taking responsibility to direct the growing ferment to real, workable solutions. And I expect that we'll see some very positive developments in the near future, and you'll hear from them very quickly. Thank you.